Good morning. We call to order the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for October 17th, 2018. Today we have all members present, myself, Mikkel Winfrey, President, Angela Hayes, Vice President, and Clotilde LeBroy, our Secretary. We first start with originally on our agenda was the swearing in of code enforcement officers. We'll ask for that item to be deferred until next week. May I have a motion?
A motion to defer the swearing in of the code enforcement officers till next week.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next we have claims.
First, I have notice here to ratification of claims that we're ratifying for October the 11th. It is, the amount is $2,314.14 for the Genesis Center. Then I have ratification of claims for October the 15th, which was for the general fund, for $4,995. And then for this week, for approval of claims to be paid this Friday, I have the general fund for a total of $143,519.47. Special revenue of $426,747.38. Then I have this following other funds: 224 ambulance fund of $13,511.04. Genesis Center Operating Fund 279 of $2,443.75. Redevelopment Auxiliary Non-Reverting Fund of Fund 474 for $11,935. The Lead Grant Fund 816 for $1,440. Healthy Start Fund 848 for $398.75. And then LDA Casino Fund 877 for $1,015 for a total claims to be paid this Friday of $601,010.39. I make a motion that we approve the claims as presented.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next we have, does that complete the claim?
That completes the
Okay.
claim.
Next we have correspondence and agreements. Correspondence from the Department of Information Technology.
Excuse me. This is to Public Works from Greg Thomas, attorney. The law department has reviewed the attached contract with, and the name of the contractor should be Mid-Valley Service Supply, to install fuel monitoring systems at 7 locations around the city. The new fueling system is part of the city's cost-saving plan. The contract is for 1 year and shall not exceed $106,607.19. The contract for these services is a sole source purchase. A memo from Lloyd Keith, Chief Technology Director, is attached as Exhibit 4 and explains why this contract is a sole source purchase. The law department did not negotiate the terms and therefore makes no comment on content of these items. Upon receipt of this memorandum, please place the contract on the agenda for the next scheduled Board of Works.
Did we need to rescind that other?
We do, that's what I was gonna say.
Well, I wasn't sure if we needed to rescind it because we don't actually have a contract, is my
I
understanding.
thought it went through the board.
Well,
as a
it went through the
contract.
Board of Works, but it was never signed by the mayor's office, so I do think we need to rescind our action
Okay,
as to the
we can do that.
original agreement
But do you want that as a separate action from this, or do you want it before this?
before this. Or it doesn't matter, just do this one and we can rescind the other one. It doesn't really matter the
Okay.
order, as long as it's both done today.
The terms of the contract are beginning October 17th, our effective date, and expiring on October 17th, 2019. The compensation does agree to the memo of 106-607-19. There is the permission from the Freeze Committee attached, the QC-12, the QC-40, and There is the memo with the explanation of the sole source from the IT director, and I do have a signed copy from the contractor. So I make a motion to approve Mid-Valley Service and Supply.
A second.
Any questions? For discussion, I would like to do an explanation before we move forward with the next agreement that we have to rescind. So essentially, the fuel system was installed by, can you refresh my memory on the name of the company, original company, Mr. Lloyd? What was the original company that we did the
The
contract?
original company that we were dealing with was Northern,
You're in
in the camp.
Was Northern,
Northern Mechanical.
okay, so Northern Mechanical initially put in the system, and therefore we were, doing a contract with them for service to their system,
Well, and it was gonna be the upgrade,
correct?
but it was the upgrade based on the equipment we have. And
Okay.
so since they're choosing not to,
And we weren't able to get a signed contract with them.
That's
And
correct.
this is one of their authorized
not their, the
vendors,
equipment's authorized vendors.
equipment authorized
They
vendor
were
that can
authorized.
service it,
Exactly.
other than the original company,
Exactly.
correct? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I would ask that the memo be corrected.
Okay.
Oh, it's just one in the end.
Yeah, it's got the wrong company name in the memo.
I'll give you my copy since you voted on this one. Next, we have,
I'd like to make a
Oh,
motion
okay.
to rescind the contract that was approved for Northern Indiana Mechanical.
A second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, so make sure she adds that to the agenda. I mean, that she adds that to her notes, so we rescinded the other contract with Northern Indiana Mechanical,
Okay.
which was done, do you know how long ago it was, Mr. Key? About 2 months ago?
Not that far.
About a month?
About a month.
Okay. Correspondence, next we have correspondence from redevelopment. May I have a motion to defer to the next meeting?
I move that we defer.
Oh, I'm sorry, we said it all in favor on this, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you were, you
Yeah.
were, look-
Yeah, no, I think we did, yes.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. May I have a motion to defer as it relates to the correspondence from redevelopment?
I make a motion to defer the correspondence from redevelopment.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have correspondence from community development.
Okay. First, I have a contract with Urban Terrain Consulting. The Law Department has reviewed the attached contract with Urban Terrain and Diana Sullivan to serve as the program manager for the Gary Micro Enterprise New Business Development Initiative. Contractor salary will be paid from a community development block grant. Contractor will organize 8 weeks of classroom workshop instruction for 50 Gary residents. The workshop will focus on how you can start your own business. Contractor will be paid $45,000 annually to conduct the workshops. The term of the contract shall run from July 1, 2018 until June 30th of 2019. The Law Department did not negotiate the terms and therefore makes no comment on the context of those items. Upon receipt of this memorandum, please place the contract on the agenda for the next scheduled works meeting. In the scope of services, it does note that the provision of 8 weeks of classroom time for 50 residents to start their own business, that the contract term will expire on June 30th, 2019. The compensation will not exceed $45,000. The grant has been submitted to the contractors. There is a contractor signature attached. There is the QC-12, the QC-40, and since this is a grant, it is not required to go through the Freeze Committee. Therefore, I make a motion to approve the contract with Urban Terrain Consulting.
Second.
Any questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, I have correspondence regarding the approval of home rental assistance agreement with the landlord being Wood Lake Village Apartments. Attaches the home rental assistance contract between the City of Gary Department of Community Development and Wood Lake Village Apartments landlord. Pursuant to the contract, the City of Gary Department of Community Development will pay a security deposit to the landlord in the amount of $649. In addition, a share of the tenant's rent will also be paid by the City of Gary Department of Community Development. Its contractual agreement commenced on October 1st, 2018, and will end no later than September 30th, 2019. There's also a memo here from Attorney Inga Lewis Shannon. The Law Office of Inga D. Lewis Shannon has reviewed the attached home rental assistance agreement between the City of Gary Department of Community Development and the Woodland Village landlord. The contract is to provide rental assistance to qualified tenants. Pursuant to the contract, the City of Gary Department of Community Development will pay to the landlord a security deposit and a share of the tenant's rent from October 1st, 2018 until September 30th, 2019. The contract is in proper legal form and is sufficient to adequately protect the interests of the City of Gary. There is the QC 40. With federal money, it is shown on here that, what is this? That the landlord is signed up in SAM. The term of the lease does agree to the memo beginning October 1st, 2018, ending September 30th. That the deposit will be paid $649. It is already signed by the tenant and the landlord. And then the agreement for the department to pay the landlord, so that contract has been signed by the landlord and the community development director. So all the paperwork seems to be here, so I make a motion to approve the contract for home rental assistance with Wood Lake Village Apartments.
I second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have correspondence from the traffic department.
I have a request for residential handicap sign for Joyce Jarrett. The checklist is here and has been signed. It says, please be advised, handicap plaque does not require place card. Here's the application, the appropriate copies of driver's license, car registration, and a note from the doctor. I make a motion that we approve the parking lot sign for Joyce Jarrett.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next, is there any unfinished or new business today?
No.
Any public comment? Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning, members of the Board of Public Works and Safety. My name is Jim Nowacki. I live in the 2nd District. And this last year, the city has had a program of painting what they identify as artwork. They've contracted with artists. I think we've been recipient of some grant money to paint for lack of another word, artwork on many of the city's empty buildings. And what I've noticed over the last several weeks is that these art projects have now been accompanied by massive amounts of taggers. I can easily identify gang symbols being used, sprayed out on Broadway, including Latin Kings, the Disciples. So this is all happening in very recent times. So just over a year ago, there might have been, I would have seen no graffiti tagged in these areas on Broadway. Now I'm seeing on a daily basis, because I walk down Broadway, here between my building and City Hall, and almost every day I see new graffiti being added. So I don't know, once we've opened this door, this Pandora's box for this artwork or graffiti by some artists, I would only remind the Board of Public Works and Safety that now we're looking at the unintended consequences of that, and now unregulated tagging and graffiti being placed all over the city, and I have to tell you that it's going to be a problem for our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you, I just want to clarify, are you saying they're tagging on top of the artwork, or this is separate?
Oh, no, these are.
Vacant buildings.
Okay, so they're not
Everywhere.
tagging on top of the artwork that's being
No.
done, they're just tagging somewhere
They're
else?
tagging
Okay.
everywhere else,
Yeah.
everywhere else.
Well, I know
including
that
gangs-
we've had
including
those
gang
things in the
symbols.
past, we've had tagging in the past, but you're
No,
saying
not
it's
like-
increased?
No, you misunderstand. We have not had tagging on these buildings in the past, only over the last several months, and this is after the city has engaged the policy of painting this authorized graffiti. Now we're having a lot of unauthorized graffiti that's accompanying it.
Well, we will send those concerns to, I believe it's
My
redevelopment,
buildings have been tagged twice.
to redevelopment, and they,
Because see, there's a difference between something that's identifiably a mural. In other words, you may look at it, it may have political content, I'm not arguing the content of it, but when you have authorized graffiti, authorized, and now you've got all these taggers who are following, including with very obvious gang symbols. Some of it right on the murals, I might add, some of it.
on the
Like,
murals that we,
Yes, like if you were to go to 8th Avenue, there's a little novelty store right there at the corner of 8th, across from the currency exchange.
okay,
And there was a big colorful mural put up on the south side of that building. It's directly opposite my building. And then if you look right up on the top, there's what is identifiably the Latin king symbol. It's the tri-pointed crown. And you know exactly what that looks like, and it's painted right at the top of the mural. So it's up there where anyone can see it. It's not as obvious as the mural, but someone went up 20 feet and put the Latin king symbol up there. But there's also gang symbols, other identifiable gang symbols too, right on Broadway.
okay. But you're not insinuating that the people that are contracting with the city are putting up gang symbols? That's not what you're saying?
Oh, I would guess that the same people who are putting up the murals have friends who are not putting up murals, who are coming here and tagging.
Okay. All right, thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I must agree with him. Around this area, we have 3 tagging schools in the Chicago area. One in Riverdale, one on the south side of Chicago, and one on 22nd and Western. But I've been driving up Fifth Avenue. Every building that has a vacant wall, they have tagged it. These are the same people. They do the same style of art all over the place. They come from the tagging schools. They go around and tag everything. But it'd be pretty wise, instead of spending all this money for fuel maintenance, you can get graffiti removal equipment under $30,000. The city of Chicago has a crew of 8 people. That's all they do is graffiti removal. They're supposed to be having a conference at the Business Development Center teaching people how to take the graffiti off of the buildings. It's a pretty simple deal with the equipment they have now, but they were pretty wise to invest in some graffiti removal, because that stuff on Fifth Avenue, those buildings aren't owned anybody, but they're just going to stay there forever. And then too, I want to talk about the fuel maintenance. I was under the impression that they only had 1 fueling station in the city. They have about 7 or 8 fueling locations. It would be pretty wise to have them have only one centralized fuel location. Gary's not that big, you know, from Klein Avenue to County Line Road, you can get there 15 minutes, you know. It would be wise, instead of spending this money for, you know, fuel maintenance, have one location. It could cut the cost in half. I see Hammond only has one. East Chicago has two. They have a fueling station at the marina and one for the central district. But it would be wise, you know, just to do one centralized fueling station for police, firemen, and everyone else. They could keep up with it pretty simple instead of trying to do 7 or 8 different locations at one time.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
Thank you, meeting adjourned.